Many of the world's largest businesses are increasingly realizing the value of investing in employee wellness. But in many cases, this doesn't go much further than a couple $100s for a gym membership. There's an Ottawa firm that's providing insights into how these large organizations can get the best bang for their buck when it comes to employee fitness. That's this week on Techopia Live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Techopia Live. I'm your host, Craig Lord. We are actually this week in L-Spark, the famous SaaS incubator out here in Canada, and we're here for a couple reasons. One, because our sponsor, KRP Properties, for this episode, this is one of their portfolio buildings, and they're very proud to have L-Spark and its many SaaS companies as their tenants. But we're also talking specifically to one of the alumni of the program. With me this week is Russell Coltess, the CEO and founder of FitCheck, one of the companies that was in the program a couple years ago, and we're getting an update on the company because there's a very interesting pivot coming up for FitCheck, and it involves a very interesting problem that we were talking about just a couple minutes ago, that there are the very large organizations that do have a budget. They're spending on employee wellness. They want to make sure that the people that are working for them are fit, they're taking care of themselves, and this is an important for success in business in a lot of ways. But I want to hear specifically about how your company is helping these large organizations, such as BlackBerry just down the road, to get the bang for their buck that they need on employee wellness. Russell, can you tell me a bit about how this problem is?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
But when we looked at employee wellness, as you had mentioned earlier, that companies are giving their employees a couple $100s to spend on wellness. The problem really is that we don't know how this is actually contributing to retention and company culture. Mm-hmm. And what we do know is that giving these perks to employees are really good at attracting talent. Mm-hmm. It's you almost have to do it now because every other company is doing it. However, if you're a company of 100 employees and you're giving your employees $500, you're spending $50,000 a year on health and on this budget. And we're actually right now in discussions with a company that has 26,000 employees, and they're essentially spending $13 million, including admin fees, which is another $1 million on top of that, $14 million just on fitness, and no one knows how this is actually contributing to the bottom line of the organization.
Mm-hmm. And so the way I understand it, you're developing a platform right now that will provide better insights into this and help employees actually form some groups, really get some insights into how employees actually want to spend those dollars and the best way to do that. Can you give me
Absolutely. I guess you could start from how employees are how the system currently works. Yeah. So an employee gets $500 and they spend it. They get the receipt and then they submit it to finance, and finance reimburses them. And HR has no idea what is actually going on with this budget. What we wanted to do is figure out a way of how can we actually get employees to work out together. And what the system does is that when employees are first added to the platform, we ask them about their fitness preferences and a number of other criteria as well. But then we take this data and in particular, we create clubs or crews, we like to call them, around these fitness preferences. So if you've indicated that you like yoga, then you'd be part of and you worked at BlackBerry, you would be part of the BlackBerry yoga crew. Mm-hmm. Or if you like lunchtime walking, you would be part of the BlackBerry lunchtime walking crew. Mm-hmm. And we find that within these crews, employees are able to connect with each other. They're able to share their goals, motivate each other, and they're able to book fitness and fitness activities for each other as well. So we find that there's a better engagement between the employees, and this also allows employees to find things that they never would have tried before by syndicating all of the different type of options to the employees that are in their area around where they live as well as where they work.
Mm-hmm. And so I totally understand why, from an employee perspective, I'm finding workout buddies, I'm meeting new friends. From the organization's perspective, why is that of value to me? Why is my employees making friends with each other, working out together? Where do I get the return
Absolutely,
on that?
absolutely. So the people would think that the biggest problem that an HR department wants to solve is attracting employees, and that is a big problem, and they are doing that. However, it actually costs a lot more to replace an employee once they leave. So employee retention is paramount. And in order to retain your employees, you have to actually have a good company culture. What we want to do is to use this budget to help identify other ways that in the organization to add more value to the company culture. And when we find that employees have outside relationships from the organization, they actually stay longer with the company. So we're using this budget in order to create these relationships. And employees, when they feel that they're part of this community, we want them to feel that they're actually part of the organization as well. And then for HR departments, it's knowing how this is actually working and to be able to take the appropriate steps to make it even better. So you are providing this $500, great, but it's great that you know that these connections are actually happening in the organization. And when employees are making these connections, and you can see these connections happening, you get a feel of how people are connecting within the company.
Or in a certain sense, not connecting. If
Or
I'm
even-
in an
or
HR
not connecting.
department and I see, oh, Joe over there hasn't gone to any of the walking club events in 3 months, is that a sign of time to step
Absolutely,
in?
it could be a sign that now maybe someone simply doesn't want working out with somebody. However, we can also see that that's usually an indication of something that's lacking within the company. And they can use that data in order to have a better conversation with those employees.
That's probably the main goal for any HR department.
Any
is
HR
how can I
department.
have the best
Exactly.
conversation to deliver a
Right.
result?
So we're not saying that we are the company's culture mechanism. We're saying that this is one piece that you're already spending money on to attract talent. Why don't we just use it as well? That's half the battle. The other half of the battle is actually keeping talent, and we can use this in order to help HR departments meet that goal.
And I'm very interested to hear about the change that's coming up. This is a new kind of new market but a new offering in this market. FitCheck started as something else, and it's becoming something new next month. Right?
Yes, it's exciting times.
Yeah.
We've been at this for a while, and we've gone through a number of pivots, a number of iterations, and through all those iterations, we've remained FitCheck. We first started out as a marketing platform for fitness studios and fitness professionals. However, like with most startups, looking for product market fit, you pivot, and we did that through having discussions. But we got lucky about this time last year, where we had an individual approach us and ask if they can spend their wellness spending account on our platform. And at the time, we don't even know what a wellness spending account is, but someone's asking to spend money on our platform, of course. And we learned that the company had 100 employees. They were giving their employees $500 a year to spend on health and fitness. And we figured that we can actually tweak our platform to help with that. But we were only answering half the question from the employee's perspective. Really, the key person that we were missing in this whole thing was the HR departments and the goals that they were looking to achieve as well. So we decided to stop and to really take some time to better learn who our customer really is and what we're really offering them. We had about 150 conversations with HR leaders and wellness experts within organizations, and we learned what they're really looking for is, and how we can actually help is how do we actually improve the company culture within the organization. Yeah. And we figured that we can use this budget and on our platform to do that. But through that change, most people would think FitCheck, especially on an employee perspective, that FitCheck was something about checking your fitness. So ultimately, we decided to change our name. And we are now, coming this fall, the company will be called Sweat Crew. And our tag is that employees that sweat together, stay together.
I think that sums it up pretty neatly for us.
We hope so.
Yeah. But it sounds like you do have a little bit of traction already so far. So you've been talking to more than 100 companies.
With those 100 companies, we've closed quite a few of them. And we're going through some beta testing as well with these organizations. And they range from anywhere from a company that has 10 employees to thousands of employees. But mainly we're focusing our attention on companies that have 100 plus employees. Companies that do have an HR department, they are giving their employees a fitness budget, and they do have a problem with the retention, which is essentially every company that we're talking to. So it's exciting that once we've made these changes to our platform, it started to resonate with those companies, with those employees as well, and we started to see an uptick in the engagement in our platform.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like a very sensible pivot. I think you've laid out the vision quite clearly for us here, Russell, and we are excited to see where it goes from this point on. So FitCheck in the past and Sweat Crew to the future, all the best, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Now, before I let you go, I want to take a quick moment to thank some of our sponsors without whom Techopia Live would not be possible. I want to start with Number Crunch, offering virtual CFO services for SaaS firms. There's Pearlie Robertson, Hill & McDougall, a leader in business and tech law. There's TD Bank, offering specialized services for tech firms. There's the University of Ottawa Faculty of Engineering, creating the next generation of technical talent. There's Stratford Managers, offering services to help you scale up your tech venture. And of course, we talked about KRP Properties. We are in one of their lovely properties today at LSpark. KRP Properties offering so much more than just space. Now, Techopia Live is not just this fantastic show. We are also available with daily articles on obj.ca/Techopia. You can follow us on social, on Facebook and Twitter at TechopiaOTT. And if you are watching us on YouTube, please leave us a like and a comment and subscribe to see more of our weekly tech interviews covering Ottawa's startup scene. Apart from that, I just want to thank you very much for joining us from Techopia Live. We'll see you next week for the next episode. Thanks.